Hi guys. So our next quote, Carl Jung. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. So how does one come to see this? People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. So everyone has internally the pursuit of finding wholeness, oneness, that feeling of fulfillment, that feeling, that soul. So when he says people will do anything no matter how absurd, we have been educated in a way to find ourselves in the external world. For example, the way that we've been educated is if you achieve this, or if you are able to attain this, then you will be fulfilled. You will be completely happy. That is the idea. And sometimes what's happened is that we have come up with different types of ideas based on what we've been told or our experiences or what we've seen, that we begin to do absurd things. As he says, people will do anything, no matter how absurd. So, for example, eating fast food like McDonald's or pizza or Burger King every day makes me feel good, makes me feel at least happy for that moment. So you keep doing it. It's absurd, but you say, why are you doing this to yourself? It makes me feel good. Why are you smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day? Because it makes me feel good. Why are you drinking alcohol every day? Because it makes me feel good. Why are you taking so many pills every day? Because it makes me feel good. So people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to make themselves feel good. In trying to find that place of I feel fulfilled. I feel whole. I feel complete. You see? The mind has come up with multiple ways of trying to find that place of fullness, wholeness, oneness in the external world. And we would do it with the most absurd things, the most disgusting things, the most terrible, horrible things. One would bomb a country because you want that feeling of power. You want that feeling of control. You want that feeling of immense fulfillment. And you believe that by destroying that country or having that country, I will have it. It's absurd because it is only temporary, it's not permanent. We have all come up with different ways of trying to fulfill ourselves in doing things or in having things. And when we come to the point where to avoid facing their own souls, he says, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Why? Because when you ask the question, for example, why am I taking drugs every day, for example? Because it makes me feel good. How long for? For a little while, for a day, and then you keep repeating it, the same cycle. So let us ask the question, where did the idea come from that by having drugs every day is going to make you feel fulfilled? Because clearly it's not doing that. It's doing that temporary, but what it's creating is then a addiction, a requirement. I need more of it in order to feel fulfilled. So when we ask the question, why is it that I need this in order to feel fulfilled? Because in truth, it's not going to do that. It's going to give me a taste of it. It's temporary. That is when begin to self-inquire. That is when begin to face our own souls and said, I don't need that. Essentially, I don't need that. Why? Because when we are all born, we're not born addicts. We're not born needing the gold or the jewels or the drugs or the alcohol or this or that in order to be fulfilled. We are that. You know, Carl Jung uses the term soul. We could say to avoid facing themselves, to avoid finding themselves in a way. Because when you start inquiring, self-inquiring, and you start looking into how do I find myself again, well, the first thing is you need to do is to drop all these absurd ideas that you have about trying to find fulfillment, happiness, wholeness. But as he said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Because the moment that you question what you're doing and you see how lost you have become, that is when you start self-inquiring. And it's very difficult because you don't want to let go of the idea that you've had for so long, that I can't give up my pills, that, you know, my drugs that are gonna make me feel good. So you're avoiding the fact that you don't need those to be fulfilled, to feel good, but you'd rather have more of those or take something else rather than face the fact that you need to let those things go. You need to drop them. That is the hardest part, letting go. Let go of it. It's not going to give you what you're looking for. But we have been conditioned. We have been programmed to believe that's the one thing that will give me what I'm looking for. So hence the quote, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls, themselves. It's about letting go. And the moment you let go, you start to find yourself. That is the first step. Thank you.